Got the beautiful sound of rain. And I'm making a cup of coffee. Old and crackadated here, and I got two puppies here. One around under the back porch, and I don't know where Bear is at. He went off for a whole day and came back so tired he could barely move. And I thought he was gone last night all night, but he came out this morning. Apparently he's been sleeping under the house. And I don't know what's going on with him. He's just so tired. I was going to take him in the house, and I went in the house and I came back out and he was gone. And I think he went back under the house because he had some of that fiberglass insulation on him, so that's the only place he'd get that. But I thought I'd come out here in this beautiful rain and sit here and make some coffee and pet my puppies. I still got to finish cleaning this man up. I'm telling you what, it is hard trimming his hair, and he's got all these little old like baby cuckleburs in him. You can't hardly run a pair of clippers through his hair. It's so knotty, and I've been having a hard time finding clippers with wide enough teeth that'll actually get the hair in between. Yeah, I have to hand cut it with scissors, and you got them old things all over you again today. And I've got a new table ornament. This is her favorite place to snooze in the daytime. Take over my table. Yeah, didn't you, baby? Took over my table, sweetie pie. Uh-oh. I think maybe coffee time may be over. I don't like being out here in thunderstorm. It is dangerous around here. Get so many lightning strikes. I had a cat get lightning struck down close to the power pole at the motorhome. She was, I guess, 30 feet or so from it when the lightning struck, and it just, she was still in the same stride that she was in when she was walking. And it killed her instantly. She was headed back to the shop to take care of her kittens, and had been out to get her a drink of water and something to eat, and was on her way back to the shop, and just as she went by the power pole, the lightning struck, and it even burned the ignition system out on my trencher that was sitting by the power pole up here close to the house. But this is a bad lightning strike area. The reason I don't like to be out here in a thunderstorm. But I'm here. And I'm gonna have my cup of coffee. Of course, I've got all kind of lightning tractors around here. Nice cast iron stove with a pipe on it. And my pellet stove, pipe on it, right into the shelters here. I need to re-stretch my tarp around it. I got a little splash over right up there on the top. Of course, I guess if I pull that ladder again, that'll stop. Yeah, that stopped it. I had the ladder pushed out. The cart was out from under the shed. What about it, Ruff? But I wish little Bear would come back out. I'm really worried about him. I need to get him in the house where I can give him some electrolytes and get his system going again. He's so weak. And here comes Rowdy. Hey, buddy, come on. Come on, Rowdy. Yes, my boy. Yeah, I've got Ben and Betsy Bug in the house right now. And Betsy Bug don't like to come back outside. Too hot out here for her. I'd let her out at night and I'd play on the back deck. This is a sweetheart right here. We got to find a way to get them birds off here without pulling the hair. But whoa, Lidge is a pretty little sweetie pie. Pretty little Australian shepherd. Well, I had that thing on wide panorama a while ago, and it's narrowed down. Let's see if I can get it adjusted. Oh. Well, I'm sitting out here in the thunderstorm. This is not something I normally do. I usually get inside because I've seen too many lightning strikes around here. But today I just don't care. I've had so much worry this week with the dogs went off for a day, and of course it was Rough and Ridge, and little Bear followed them off. And Ridge came back home about 4:30 that afternoon, but Rough was still gone. Of course, he's going to stay with Bear pretty much till Bear can get back, but I think they went off so far that it really wore Bear out, and I'm worried about him. I've got, if I have to crawl into the house after a while to find him, because he's hid out, and I think that's where he's at, under the house. But he is so weak. He just got no life in him, and if you've seen videos of him, he's always frisky as he can be, and his tail wagging. He hadn't wagged his tail since he came home. And he got home about 8:30, and then about a half hour after that, Ruff came home. But he was so tired. He hadn't played or nothing. And I was going to take him in the house last night, and I went in the house and came back out, and he'd gone under the edge of the deck, and he was gone. So I figured he went under the house. It's dark and cool under there, and I was itching because I'd picked him up and petted him and had fiberglass on my arm, so I know that's where he's going to hide out. But I've got to get him out of there and give him some electrolyte before he dies. He's weak. I didn't expect him to get up and move that fast because he was laying out there on the ground when I came out. I pet him for a few minutes and then put him down, and he went up under the edge of the deck, and I went in to get something, and he was gone when I came back. So best I can figure, he's under the house. I'll have to put me on some old clothes, a long sleeve shirt, because I'll be covered in fiberglass That government insulation was garbage. It rotted out floors and beams and everything else in everybody's houses. You can't put insulation like that under a house and expect it to stay dry. It molds and mildews. The reason so many houses got mold and mildew. Government installation. We're from the government, and here we're here to help. Yeah. They've never helped anybody. They've only complicated matters. You're better off doing things yourself than leaving the government out of it. But I am totally exhausted. I've been up and down the roads around here looking for them that day. And one of the neighbors said he saw them taking off down through the cornfield that morning with two of the puppies. And of course, this one right here don't like to stay very long away from the house, so he came back. But little bear followed them around wherever they went that day. I've got to find him though. I wish he'd come back out on his own. It's cool today. He should have stayed out here. I'm gonna have to find him. I think he's gonna die if I don't get some electrolytes in it. Well, I'll do the best I can. Sit down here with another cup of coffee. Little update on Bear. I cut the camera off and I went around there and he was out on the deck. So I picked him up and took him in the house and gave him some sugar and salt water with a hypodermic syringe. And he seems to be perked up a little. First time he's had a little sparkle in his eye. He's had no expression in his eyes for 2 days. But he seems to be doing better. He's still not lively, but he's improving. So I feel a lot better now. I sure have been worried about him. But I've got him in the house where I can watch after him, and he won't eat anything right now, and that's unusual for him. If he usually got a big belly when he gets through eating, but he don't seem to have an appetite much. He's not drinking enough water. He's pretty dehydrated, but about every hour I'll start giving him a little bit of sugar water with a little salt in it, get his electrolytes going. The sugar to give him a little energy, and the salt to make sure he's getting enough electrolytes, but I won't do much of that. Those dogs don't really need a lot of salt. But they need enough to keep the heart working. Hello, Ruff, pretty baby. Look at this pretty thing. Ain't he a darling? Look at that dirt. He's been under the car and getting oil on his back and oil on his belly where the oil has been seeping under the car. But he's a good boy. Ain't you good? And just stop y'all from running off and taking the little critters with you. Being gone all day. Y'all need to stay at home. I used to have 6 black labs and a blonde lab. That one blonde lab out of all those puppies. And their daddy got run over in the road out in the highway. And I ended up losing one out of that litter later. Oh, it's probably 6 or 7 years later. She had hurt her foot and was crippled up and couldn't run fast, but she followed the rest of them. They went down there and went across the highway, and she was crippled and couldn't get across the highway and got run over. I wish I'd have chained her up that night so she wouldn't have followed, but people try to run over dogs out here on this highway on purpose. Got no use for people like that. I've actually seen them swerve to run over dogs. Well, at least I've got my little man in the house. Bear's such a cute thing, that curly hair. While I got him in the house, I'm going to trim some of that hair. But he's a good little dog. He just ran off with them, followed them the other day, and it was so hot that day. And he just came back exhausted. He followed too far and then was too far away to get back in a hurry. So it took him till, it was, I think around 8:30 or so that night. And then a little before 9 o'clock, Ruff showed up. And he'd been hanging around close to Bear, I think, protecting him. But Bear was under the house is where he was at. So I've got him in the house now and taking good care of him. And that'll be enough for today. I've got to go in there and take care of my boy. Well, I've had a few bad days, and today has really been bad. I gave Betsy Bug and Ben flea and tick pills yesterday afternoon. And when I woke up this morning, Betsy Bug was dead. Ben was pretty sick, so I started giving him some sugar and water with a little salt in it to help him along till I could go and get some Pedialyte, and then I've been giving him Pedialyte about every 2 hours, and he's beginning to perk up a little, and it didn't affect Bear. He's apparently pretty tough. I brought him through the heat exhaustion he had last week, and he almost died. He followed the big dogs off, and they were gone all day long, and he finally came home about 8:30 that night. He was totally exhausted. And of course, I brought him in and gave him sugar water with salt in it. Didn't have any Pedialyte around, but I gave him that till I got him where he got some finally got some expression in his eyes, and he perked up pretty good, and he's doing fine now. But the video I shot in the gazebo when it was pouring down rain, I did that off and on all day long, and little Rowdy was out there with me, and of course I went back out there. I stayed out there probably about 12 o'clock, and I went back out about 2:30, and I thought about bringing him in the house. And I decided, no, I'll just leave him out here. Well, Ruff and Ridge, I don't know where they were sleeping. They go around and sleep under the little boat under the shed. But anyway, went out that morning about 8 o'clock, and Rowdy was gone. And I looked for him all day long, looked for him all night, looked for him every day, and couldn't find him anywhere. Well, tragedy this afternoon. I mean, he'd been gone since Monday morning. I think it was Monday morning, may have been Tuesday morning. But I found him dead under my old pickup truck down close to my motorhome. Don't know what happened to him unless he went off and got heat exhaustion that day, because it was super hot that day. And but I found him under the back end of that pickup truck, and that's where they go and stay when it's real hot down there. When I'm feeding the horses, they go under that pickup truck. And I had looked under there, but I didn't get down close and look under there, because he was right under the back axle of the truck. And he'd been missing all that time, and I thought somebody had gotten him. But two tragedies today. Found out that little Rowdy's dead, and I'm having a tough time. I've only got 2 puppies left, and I'm trying my best to nurse little Ben through this. He's perked up. He's able to get up and walk around and sit up, but he was in bad shape this morning. But it was too late for Betsy Bug, and I loved that dog, and she was so pretty. And so was Rowdy. I mean, he was getting such a slick coat on him and looking so healthy. But this heat has been misery, and I think that's what might have happened to him, is that he got so exhausted he couldn't come to the house, and there wasn't any water down there for him to drink. He couldn't reach any of the troughs to get water. So if it can, it will for me, and it's been a bad day. Well, I'll put this together with the gazebo stuff. It's got little Rowdy in it, and I'm just heartbroken. But I've still got little Ben, and little Bear. And Bear's the cutest thing, and he's a live wire. And I've got to take him to the vet. Should have taken him to the vet and got him checked over before I gave him those chewables for the fleas and ticks. Well, old and crackadated. And my if it can, it will. Looks like it's already done it.